You don't give or not. So then
You combine it.
a very good evening to everyone here. It's a momentous day today for us when the Center for Earth, Ocean and Atmospheric Sciences is organizing its first Institute of Eminence IOE Golden Jubilee Distinguished Lecture. And I, Dr. Devleena Tiwari, on behalf of the COS, feel privileged and honored to welcome all of you to this event. In this August gathering, we have today with us our distinguished guest and speaker, Padma Shri Dr. Shailesh Nayak, Director, National Institute of Advanced Studies, Bengaluru, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor B.J. Rao, Director, IOE, Professor Ghanshyam Krishna, our Head, Professor Jayananda, besides the other learned guests and faculty from other institutions and departments. I request the dignitaries, our esteemed Chief Guest, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Director, IOE, and Head to kindly take the seat on the dais. The seat on the dais. And I invite our student volunteers from the center to welcome the dignitaries with flowers. Ms. Dona may kindly present the bouquet to our chief guest, Professor Nayak. Ms. Lekha to our Vice Chancellor. Ms. Devika to our Director IOE. And Ms. Abhinayashri to our Head, Professor Jayananda. I now request our Head, Professor Jayananda, to kindly take the mic.
Very good afternoon to all of you. Respected speaker of today's Golden Jubilee IOE Distinguished Lecture, Dr. Shailesh Nayak sir, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor B.J. Rao sir, and Professor Ghanshyam Krishna, Director, Institution of Eminence, University of Hyderabad, distinguished invitees from the different institutions, my colleagues, students, friends. At the outset, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you to this Golden Jubilee Distinguished IOE lecture event. The Center of Earth and Ocean Atmospheric Sciences takes its pleasure in organizing the Golden Jubilee IOE Distinguished Lecture as a mark of celebrating the Golden Jubilee celebrations of the University of Hyderabad on an important theme of national interest, benefits of Earth system science in India. Today, the chief guest is the distinguished speaker. Dr. Shailesh Nayak is a globally renowned researcher and a great visionary who have greatly contributed to Indian science and society. Sir, we feel privileged with your presence in our center today, accepting our invitation to deliver the Golden Jubilee Distinguished Lecture, sir. On behalf of the University of Hyderabad and my personal behalf, I welcome you to this event, sir. And it's my privilege to welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor B.J. Rao, sir, who is always a great source of inspiration in all our academic and research endeavors. And, sir, on behalf of our center, I extend a very warm welcome to you, sir. Professor James Raju, our Dean, because of the preoccupation, he could not able to attend this event. Professor Ghanshyam Krishna, Director, IOE, who is always supporting all our academic and research activities. And I welcome you on the behalf of our center and my personal behalf. I extend very warm welcome to all the distinguished scientists from the different organizations, from NGRI, from INCAIS, also NRSA, and other the schools from the University of Hyderabad and Telangana Climate Change Center, my colleagues, students, and other invitees to this event. I once again I welcome you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. You can announce. Yes, you can. Yes, the next part of this program is introduction of the speaker. I feel really privileged to introduce today's distinguished speaker of the Golden Jubilee IOE Distinguished Lecture, Dr. Shailesh Nayak. Currently is the Director of National Institute of Advanced Studies in Bengaluru. He is also the Chancellor of Theory School of Advanced Studies, Delhi, Editor-in-Chief of Journal of Indian Society of Remote Sensing, and Life Trustee, India International Center, Delhi. He was the Chair of Earth System Science Organization and Secretary to the Government of India Ministry of Earth Sciences during 2008 and 2015. He has a very distinguished career. He is a great visionary and provided leadership for science programs in India, particularly related to climate change, weather services, including forecasting of extreme events, polar science, geoscience, hazards, oceans, resources, modeling, ocean survey, and technology transfer. So during his time, he has greatly contributed to building of big infrastructure in earth science institutions in national laboratories. His current research interests include building of strategy for blue economy, sustainable development, and science diplomacy, particularly deep ocean projects. Dr. Shailesh Nayak obtained his PhD degree from MS University of Baroda in the year 1980. He has a very long career. He has joined Space Applications Center, Indian Space Research Organization in 1978 as a scientist, and subsequently elevated to the Director of Marine and Water Resources in the same organization. He was mainly responsible for conceptualizing, formulating, and executing many national projects related to application of satellite data on ocean color, integrated coastal zone management, snow glacier studies, water resources. The generation of detailed information on Indian coast has influenced the development of the policy for zoning of coastal zone, for regulating the coastal activities, and closely involved in restructuring the coastal regulation zone notification. This was issued by the Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India. Dr. Shailesh Nayak was appointed as the Director, Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services, which is known as INCAIS in Hyderabad. It is an autonomous institution under Ministry of Earth Sciences. In the year May 2006, at INCAIS, he has set up a state-of-art early warning system for tsunami and storm surges in the Indian Ocean, covering most of the Indian countries in the Indian Ocean region. He was also responsible for conceptualization and development of marine GIS. He has made outstanding contributions in improving advisory services related to potential fishing zones, oceans, forecast, and Indian agro project. All these has saved to the Government of India at least more than 50,000 crores. So he is a member of Governing Board of Indian Space Promotion and Authorization Center, Foundation for Ecological Security in Anand, National Center for Sustainable Coastal Zone Management in Chennai. He is also chair jury for the National Blue Flag Committee, Research Advisory Committee, chairman of the Research Advisory Committee of National Antarctic and Ocean Research Center, Goa, National Center for Coastal Research, Chennai, Wadi Institute of Himalayan Geology, and NGRI in Hyderabad. Dr. Shailesh Nayak has been elected to the fellow of all the 3 national science academies, and he is also elected to the a fellow of International Society of Photogrammetry and Remote Sensing, and academician of International Academy of Astronautics in Paris. He has been awarded honorary doctorates, Doctor of Science by the Andhra University, in 2011, by Assam University in 2013, and by the Amity University in 2015. Dr. Shailesh Nayak is a recipient of IGU, that is Indian Geophysical Union Harinarayan Lifetime Achievement Award in Geosciences in the year 2013, and Vikram Sarabhai Award in 2012, the Bhaskar Award 2009, the Indian Society of Remote Sensing Dehradun. Considering the impact of his research on society, the Government of India has honored him with a civilian honor Padma Shri in the field of science and engineering in 2024. So, Dr. Shailesh Nayak is the President of Indian Geophysical Union, Hyderabad, Indian Mangrove Society. He has published in more than 190 papers in international and national journals and delivered about 200 invited talks in national and international fora. So, with these few words, I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to felicitate Dr. Shailesh Nayak.
I now request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to address the gathering.
I have essentially come to listen to Professor Shailesh Nayak. I want to be his student sitting here. When I looked at his biodata spread, I realized that he is probably one of the best resource persons for the country in almost all areas of natural science, especially sciences which are strategically very important for the country. So I want to applaud his presence here. And I want to profusely thank him for sparing his quality time, addressing not so young people but very young people there. And this message will go far and wide on the topic that you are going to talk to us about today. When I heard that you are President of Indian Geophysical Society Union and also Mangrove Society, you can see the spread of these two important bodies, and he has touched upon everything else in between also. So a very impressive spread, and I do not know whether we are producing this quality now in the country, because this quality is very important for the country now in the future, much more than what the country needed in the past. Because on every front of the country we need to map strategic areas, look at the dynamic changes, and see how changes are being created in addition to changes that are happening naturally. So we need to create this kind of resource knowledge material for the country continuously through this kind of systems. So therefore you have a tremendous responsibility of keeping the continuity of this area. This area is not very well represented in the country for some reasons that are not known to me very well. This is little I would say oasis in the ocean, where they are training relatively small number of students, relatively small because country needs a lot more. Relatively small number of students very, very well. And I really like this hall. It is just perfect hall to have these kind of very interactive sessions. So I have come to learn about new things today. And when I get tickled, I spread the message elsewhere also. Because I am an open mind to learn many things, and my interest is connecting the dots. Various areas offer the dots, and our job is to connect the dots and see what pattern emerges for now in the country and for future in the country. So I'm really blessed that I'm being part of an audience here, and that you have taken your time off for giving us important information in this IOE distinguished lecture. These distinguished lectures are really enriching us, thanks to institution of eminence money that we have. In almost all areas, we are bringing very distinguished scholars, and these lectures are really provoking interesting ideas, not in the classroom setting, but in a freewheeling session, which is where the true learning happens. So thanks again for sparing your time and coming here for enriching us. Namaste.
I now request Dr. Nayak to kindly deliver the awaited lecture.
Water is here, sir.
Yeah.
Water there. So open it.
Stop. This is for light, no?
Sir, slide more, how you have to tell. Did you tell,
Yeah.
sir? Lights, turn off the lights.
Good afternoon, Professor Rao, Professor Krishna, Professor Jayachanda, distinguished guests, my dear students, and ladies and gentlemen. It's really great honor to come to Hyderabad University and to deliver this IOE distinguished lecture. I'm extremely grateful to you, Professor Rao, for inviting me, because it's always a pleasure to go to university and talk to young students. I chose this topic essentially to show that why earth science in last about 15 years or so is getting some importance, as you rightly said that it was not much. So I have picked up a few examples that how this science has helped in different aspects. It's not changing.
You have to point it on.
Yeah, I have to point this side. Okay, this one. No?
Yes, sir. To going from going down.
Yeah,
going
yeah.
Before sliding.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, what we are trying to do is to understand the various Earth system processes. Now, the most important thing which we know that the Earth is a single unit, and whatever the change or the exchange of mass and energy takes place between different components like atmosphere, ocean or a hydrosphere, biosphere, geosphere, and snow and ice. Now, you can see that this all energy essentially comes from the sun. And this activity, like as you know about simple example of a monsoon, when ocean hits up, the water evaporates, goes to atmosphere, then it transfers, wind takes it to land, the rainfall comes, again through stream, the water comes back. So there is several such processes where there is a continuous exchange of mass and energy. Now, in this, the human influence in last 150 years has started interacting with these processes, and in many times it affected those processes. At the same time, these processes also affect our activities. And that is why this subject has become very important, because there is a direct interaction with the society. So, in the broad sense, now why this is very important? The one is, it brings many other sciences together, the science as a whole. The other is a space science. Why space science? Because after the satellite started orbiting Earth, we realize that there are many processes which are regional and global, and there is a lot of interconnection between them. So the earth science, when we say, it is also part of the space science, which is one of the most important. And then, since it is connected with the society, the social science is also equally important. And the benefits which come, so economics and cognition. So it basically integrates different sciences together about the earth processes, which we need to understand weather, climate, hazards, because this earth which gives us an ecosystem to survive. So basically what it means that it provides an understanding and the physical basis of the earth in which we live, and we need to sustain this process. Now, how this started, initially at a major lot of such things which is happening, which may not have fully understood, but now we know now that the biology and geological science has a very close interaction. And this anyway I told you that in 60s we learned to measure and observe various processes. We derived many parameters, and with the advance in computing, we also started assimilating this in numerical weather models, and then we started giving forecast about variety of things, and that how it started impacting the society. The last 150 years, we know that the human impact has been substantial, and we are seeing many changes which are occurring, and the changes in the hazard pattern, the heat waves, the monsoon pattern, several things. So that is why it is very essential that we integrate our knowledge about physics, biology, chemistry all together to understand this global change and how we can mitigate and adapt to these changes. Now, there are basic 4 features of the Earth system, or the Earth system processes. The one is, there is a large variability across space and time, and many times what happened in the past, especially the paleoclimate study, which is very important aspect of geoscience, that what happened in the past, maybe 10,000 years ago, some studies hundreds of millions years ago, or since beginning of the origin of the earth. So this past behavior of the earth is very important for us to understand what is likely to happen in the future. As I told you, the biologic processes are extremely important, and this is one which is very important component of the earth system science. While most of the time they felt earlier that what has to do biology and geoscience, but now things have drastically changed. Other is these processes are connected in variety of ways, both laterally and vertically. You can see the global regional processes. So this is